is Cherry, aka Cherry Bomb, again, and today we are doing, I always forget the name, Our Life Now and Forever demo. And we just got to the choose a relationship for Xiao. It's Xiao, evidently, and Tamarack, so we're about to do that. So now you're at the stage where you'll get to set up your dynamic with Tamarack and with Xiao. Our Life Now and Forever has a specific way of constructing the personalized relationship you have with the two neighbors you grew up with. It's called dynamics. This encompasses how your character and that character feels about one another and how they generally interact with each other. It doesn't determine if your character is shy or confident or sociable or unsociable. It's done through the phrasing actions you pick in normal choices. This is only setting how you and the two leads tend to think/approach things on a top-line level. These settings can be the same for both Tamarack and Xiao or be entirely different for one over the other. Oh, so I could do both. So the first part of the dynamic setting is what you set for your relationship standing. Your chosen relationship standing is always mutual with the other character. Oh. It's possible to change your standing at the start of each step, even at certain points within a step, at least normally. There are some settings that can't be changed once you pick them. There are 5 main options for your relationship standings are neighbors, friends, family, crushes, and beloveds. Neighbors means there's someone that you know, and it's nothing more meaningful than that. Whether it's still amicable or completely cold or even hostile, it is up to you. Friends means that you're friends. While on this standing, it's possible to go even deeper and have them be your very best friend. But that's not set on the dynamic screen. It's a normal choice. Family means that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a fully platonic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've gotten to know them longer. You also won't be able to change the setting to anything else once you've picked it. This is completely certain and unwavering. Oh. You can bring both Tamarack and Xiao into your proverbial family. Crushes mean that you and them have crushes on each other. While on this standing, you can keep your feelings a secret and act as though you're only friends/best friends, or it can be known that you're romantically interested. Later in the game, you can also officially go steady with Tamarack or Xiao. If you begin dating one of them, your standing on the dynamic screen will change to partners instead of crushes. It's possible to be crushing on Tamarack and Xiao at the same time, and for most of the game, you can only get into an actual romantic relationship with one. Okay. In step 4, a polyamorous relationship can be pursued if you want. Oh, I like that idea. That way, the way that will work is that Xiao and Tamarack will be in a committed platonic relationship with each other and can be in a committed platonic or romantic relationship with the MC. I like that. Xiao and Tamarack won't be romantically involved with each other regardless of the choices the MC makes. If you do date one or both, you can't break up with them. The partner status can't go away once you get it. It is possible to change simply crushes to one of the other options if you want to. Beloveds means that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a clearly romantic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You also won't be able to change this setting to anything else once you've picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering. Like crushes, the romantic feelings can be known, a secret, or you can be official partners. If you're at this setting, you'll also unlock the possibility of getting engaged and changing your relationship standing to fiancés. There's no requirement to get married or even date. What you do or don't do with your feelings of love is up to you. That the leads will respect your set boundaries. That is so cute. If you are beloveds and make choices where you're hoping to get married but haven't asked yourself, your partner can be the one to propose instead. Oh, okay. Sorry, my brain short-circuited. I was like, what do I have to ask myself for that? The MC will accept that proposal by default because the game believes they want that. You can't convince your partner to think the marriage is a good idea, then reject them when they pursue it. Okay, cool. That's part 1 of dynamics. The second part is expression elements. This is how you and the other character genuinely interact with you. Well, each other. Like relationship standing, expression elements are determined separately for Tamarack and for Xiao. It doesn't have to be the same for both. But expression elements don't have to be mutual between your character and Tamarack/Xiao. They have their own ways of conveying themselves, and your character gets to have theirs. Expression elements are broken down into 3 meters with 3 choices per meter. Deferring, teamworking, contesting. Praising, unassuming, teasing. Doting, accepting, admiring. For meter 1, you can use it to determine if your character is a follower or goes with the flow using deferring. A collaborator or compromiser using teamworking, or tries to be the leader or decision maker, whether the other person actually wants to follow them or not, using contesting. Yeah, I think Xiao is definitely teamworking. Oh, and it says it too. For meter 2, it determines if your character is the type of person to go out of their way to make comments on the other person and what they do. If not, they're unassuming. If so, the comments can be complimentary or even flirting, if praising, or they can be joking or giving the other person a hard time, teasing. You get to control the phrasing and tension through choices. Meter 3 can be set to determine how your character views Tamarack and Xiao. Do they feel like they need to look out for them, or that they're on the same level as each other, or that the other person is more incredible than most? When you first meet Xiao and Tamarack in the story, they go with their normal kind of behavior for their first interaction with your character. Because of that, their expression elements are always the same in step 1. Xiao, teamworking, teasing, and doting. Tamarack, contesting, praising, and accepting. As you spend more time with Tamarack and Xiao, they'll get to know your character better, and in each of the next steps, their expression elements can change to match that. If, for example, you're friends with Tamarack and express displeasure whenever she insists on getting her way, she'll notice that. In step 2, instead of contesting, she could be teamworking with your character, or even deferring, depending on the details. Their connection with your character will develop organically. Though, in future steps, you'll also want to have the option of customizing their expression elements if you want to make sure their playthrough has a specific feel. Oh, that's cool. And starting in step 2, and if you're more than just neighbors, a 4th expression element meter unlocks. Envious of, not jealous, or jealous over. Oh, envious of means that one character is envious of the life, appearance, abilities, relationships, or something else of the other person, depending on the specifics involved. Jealous over means that they feel discomfort if they think the other person seems to like someone else more or isn't spending as much time with them as normal and such. The jealousy meter does nothing but let you add more negative feelings or relationship competition interactions as an extra element of drama to your life. Ugh, I don't know how I feel about that. By default, Xiao, Tamarack, and you will always be not jealous, which skips all that. Oh, thank goodness. You'll have to choose to customize the expression elements and set them up to be jealous in one way or the other for that kind of emotion to crop up. I might do another, if you guys want to see me do a run through of this later, where I make them both be jealous and see what happens, then I would love to do that, because listen, this game is generally a joy to me. Even the icon changed into the sticker that I picked. Oh my gosh, the icon, I don't know if y'all can see this, but the icon for the game changed into a little music note. I love it so much. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, I love this game so much, I would be willing to play it as many times as possible. With relationship standing and expression elements, you'll be able to have a truly personal dynamic with Tamarack and with Xiao. There are dozens of combos for the step you're in, and when going from steps to step. Being at crushes in step 3 will be different if you used to be friends than if you were crushing from the start, and so on. Oh. And so on. You have plenty of options to try out. Oh, that makes it hard for me now. Wait. I was just gonna do both of them as crushes and see what happens, but no, if we start out as friends. That ends the dynamic systems tutorial. Well, hope you'll enjoy the connection you create with Tamarack and Shell. I do enjoy it a lot. I don't know. I'd say deferring. Teasing. And admiring. Maybe crushes. Friends. Neighbors. I'm gonna go crushes. Maybe friends, crushes. I like their cute little faces. And it shows you that. And it can show you that too. Crushes. Oh, I don't know. We're gonna go crushes. Done. Crushes. We're not doing that. Team working. I'm not deferring. Ooh, wait. Team working. Praising. Deferring. Praising. Doting. Can I go back? I kind of want to go back. Let me move my thing. Let me move my capture status. You guys can't see that, but it's there. So there's no back button. Oh my gosh. No. I'm kind of curious though. Load. Yes. Awesome. I am so smart. And I love myself so much. Because I just realized I wanted to be team working whenever it comes to him. There we go. Done. Crushes. Deferring. Praising. Doting. Done. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I messed with my thing. He'd seen it only in pictures and hadn't known anybody who was local there. But here, a person who lived in this town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your house who also lived here. Were your friends? You thought so. And even though they weren't here anymore, and a bunch of other things had happened that day, the two of them were the only things on your mind. What it was like when you first saw them, when you started to talk to and learn about them, all that stuff with the note and the paper airplane, it was special. The air outside kept getting even colder, but you were so warm on the inside. It was nice and comfortable in the place you were. Oh! Getting even more lost in your own imagination, you wondered when you'd get to see them again. Cherry, is that you? Your mama called from over the fence. Coming! You bounded forward and passed through the gate. Mama had left the porch and was there to meet you. Thank you for coming back. I'm sure you were having an exciting time out there. It was great. Could have been worse. I don't know. You're never going to believe what happened. Everything was amazing. You squeezed your legs, thrilled at what happened. You didn't say anything. I wish I didn't go. You clung to her, relieved to be back and upset you had to go. I met people, Mama. Kids my age. I met a girl I'm going to marry. I met a boy I'm going to marry. I met two people I could marry. That's new. That's awesome. Everything was amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. From strength to strength, we got the key to the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. He's gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. The both of us should be here for this. It's your house, too. Yeah, this is our house now. Absolutely. Come on. Mama turned to go and slipped the key out of her sweater pocket. She gestured with the other hand for you to follow. Your mama led the way as you went upstairs. The key fit perfectly into the hole on the door, and Mama smiled at the sound of an unlocking click. Carefully, she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving it a nudge, unsure if the best option for the ancient door was extra force or extra restraint. The house opened with a creak. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mama let out a breath at the same time. Over here, Cherry. There's a space for you to get a little closer. You can see inside here. You scooched towards your mama's side in the doorframe. It was then that you noticed there was a mat at the front. It had a light color. It was kind of hard, but fluffy texture. The sort of mat that'd get dirty looking right away when it was used, but it was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all like the rest of the building. This part of the house wasn't just an old thing left behind by other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it here. Someone must have put it there for this happening, for your mama and you moving in. Written across the top, it said, "Welcome home." That's so sweet. Mama softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back into the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you ahead with her. The two of you walked through the door. Everything in the air was still. The wind was blocked, but it was practically as cold inside as it was outside the house. Mama shifted forward cautiously, feeling for a light switch. Got it! A dim light from the ceiling sparked on in an instant, and there in front of you was an old-fashioned living room. This is so pretty. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't a set. The pieces were mismatched. Each chair, each table, and a bookshelf in a different color. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic and in dust. The room had a real fireplace made of brick. In the back, you could see a staircase going up to another floor. Beautiful! It's even better than the photos. So much potential inside these walls. You're right. You were amazed it could fit in a storybook. You were so disappointed. It blew your old apartment out of the water. It was the worst house in the world. It could work. We'll trade your stuff. It was okay, you thought. He really does stink, you said lightheartedly. It really does stink, you said in disgust. This house was definitely haunted. This place was so haunted. Awesome. It just had that look. Where else would ghosts live but right here? Your mama touched the tips of her fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. We'll have to clean as much as we can to make it livable before bed. It'll be a long night. We can unpack more of our things tomorrow, though I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're going to be busy. Mama increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade! You grinned brightly. You groaned, throwing your head back dramatically. You'd hoped she had forgotten. You threw your hands up in the air from excitement. You covered your face, getting nervous just thinking about it. You got lost imagining what it would be. You bit your lip. You shrugged painfully. Grinned brightly. Yeah. We got here just in time, huh? Her eyes drifted closed, and there was a crease in her brows. She seemed further away without having gone anywhere. Even if I am here early for the job, I was not going to make you be a full week late to class. Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. You couldn't tell if she thought that was a good thing or a bad thing by her tone, but Mama didn't say any more about that. She lifted her circle scarf over her head, careful not to have it catch on her earrings, and left it on top of her suitcase. So, want to see the upstairs? That's so pretty! Yeah! I love that little, detail. Oh my gosh. The second floor was more of the same. Lonely, sealed away rooms with furniture nobody had been using for ages that would cover up by plastic sheets and lots of dust. You could see the footprints your mama left behind in the grime as she wandered the halls with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mama made the decision to leave the furniture in its protection until after the sweeping was finished. There were too many dust bunnies that might jump over to take a seat on your couches if a spot was available. I hope I can remember where I put that dustpan. The broom itself shouldn't be hard to find. You returned to the living room after Mama got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of her suitcase. She put her scarf inside it when taking the scissors out. Mama then went through some of the taped up boxes like it was her birthday, and each one was a shiny, unopened present with a ribbon on top, but her gift was just stuff she already owned. One by one, she took out the supplies that she had brought for this very moment, setting them around her legs on the floor wherever the spaces were. She divided them out into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fluffy fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, and a full roll of paper towels. Mom had a set of her own, and the other was for you. You were going to need them. There's only one broom and dustpan that she did successfully find. You were going to take turns using that. The first move in the make the house a place people can actually live in plan was yanking open the streaky windows to get some air flowing. Though, before even that, you had to get the locks on the windows themselves to come loose. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame and the latch pressed against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clicked into place on the opposite side, you shoved the window up with both hands. Your gloves were already patchy with filth. The icy crisp breeze that flowed in from the outside was a lot more welcome at this point. You got a good look at the neighborhood while catching your breath. The street lights had come on. But you then left the window there to do its job and got back to yours. The two of you went back and forth up and down around the house to open up everything you could. Some windows were jammed in place so tight you had to leave it alone for your mama to get later. The next point on the list was somehow to scrub down all the floors, walls, counters, and every other inch of the space where dust could settle, which was every inch of the entire house. You picked a spot and gave it a nice sweep with a fuzzy head of the duster. A nice line of clear wood followed behind your motion. That pattern continued for a while, and whenever the dust was gone from a spot, you'd go back over it again with the cleaning spray to really make it shine. Your mama was able to track down and turn on the heater. Not that you could tell the difference with all the windows wide open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mama, standing around in the kitchen together with the two of you as dusty as the rest of the house. It was packed meals from the car. Simple sandwiches, fruits with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed on the drive, little bags of granola and pretzels, and juice boxes. There were no groceries. The rickety fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. It was a relief that there was nothing gross in there. It was disappointing that there was nothing gross in there. It was a relief that there was nothing gross in there. You had prepared for the worst for such an old, practically abandoned house. But there wasn't a single bottle of nasty ketchup or box of unknown leftovers or anything. The trash from your food was dumped into the same giant black garbage bag that you'd been throwing piles of gray stained paper towels and wads of squished together tape in for the whole night. Somehow, the bag was getting full, even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much work you'd really done. Looking at the house made you think you hadn't even gotten started. The only way to change that was to keep going, as your mama talked about when encouraging herself to clean again after dinner. You and your mama polished up the house as best as you could for even more hours. But when your usual bedtime arrived, Mama put the duster and the scissors down. She wasn't going to have you stay up late, no matter how excited she was to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The ones on the second floor were too dirty to use, plucking her overnight bag off the counter along the way. Your mom explained how she'd do a round throughout the whole house to close the windows, to keep busy until the bathroom was free, and left you to get ready to sleep. Inside the bag was little baby-sized versions of normal toothpaste and mouthwash containers and simple toothbrushes. I love those. All you had for pajamas that night was a long was a green long sleeve shirt with matching pants. That's cool. I like green. You got as clean as you possibly could with only a sink to use. You did a good job washing up. You were pretty lazy about it. You finished washing as fast as possible. You pretended to be busy for a little while. You did a good job washing up. After how dirty you'd gotten, it was satisfying to get clean. You kept your ribbon on for bed. You took your glasses off for bed. Then you changed into the PJs and let your mama have her turn. While she was away, you took out your favorite stuffed animal, you took out your favorite action figure, you took out your favorite doll, took out your special blanket, you took out your special pillow. You could only wait for her to be done. You took out your favorite, I think I'm going to say stuffed animal. It was something you couldn't sleep without. That's so cute. The furniture was still wrapped in plastic, so you crouched down and sat on the rug. Mama returned in only a couple of minutes wearing her purple pajamas, and she also had sleeping bags tucked under each of her arms. She shifted one forward to hold against the front of her chest and dropped the other onto the floor, landed with a puff. That'll be mine, Mama noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bag together in a roll. She pulled and pinched the knot. When it didn't budge, she lifted the bundle to her face and used her teeth to pry the threaded bands apart from each other. She got it loose and victoriously flopped the bag all the way open. She laid it down in a clear spot on the wooden floor. There you are, Cherry, all ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique rug, scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting off the ground. Mama chatted casually while spreading out her own bag nearby. We'll need to get some of the wood so we can actually use that fireplace on nights like these. Did your mama know how to use a fireplace? You'd never seen one in person until now, and so far, you'd still never seen one that had a fire in it. Luckily, the house was warm and cozy, even without that, since the windows stopped letting the chill in. The heater worked. That was sort of a surprise to you. Mama soon settled down on the center of her temporary bed. She sat cross-legged with her back solidly straight. Her hands came to rest on top of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for the help with the house today. It'll be home before we know it at this rate. I worked really hard, you said, while your arms stretched. I am so tired now, he said while flopping down. You're welcome. A house and home are the same thing. The way she said it made your eyes roll. You stretched your arms out, happy with the job well done. We'll do that one. Hey, guess what I did in the neighborhood today? You buy the fence the entire time. No, Mama. Okay, tell me, dear. After pausing just a little to build suspense, you began to narrate the entire story of the paper airplane adventure. From the moment it hit to the way it led you down to the forest crossroads, meeting Xiao on his tower with his notebook full of loose pages, then finding Tamarack in her leaf pile and all of her surprises. Mama listened with her whole self, leaning forward and grinning wider with each new turn you revealed. You wrapped it up by explaining how you returned to the neighborhood with Xiao and Tamarack after everything you'd discovered. What a way to spend an afternoon! I'm proud of you, Cherry. You're a bona fide detective. I had no idea you'd gotten into such a winding journey. You kicked your legs up and down on your sleeping bag, very pleased with her reaction. It was a fun story to tell. Somehow, the events of the day felt like they were a long time ago, or that they happened to someone else and you just heard about it. But it had been real. The paper airplane hit your shoulder. You held the note in your hands. And you threw that paper away when you were cleaning. No, and you didn't have any idea what happened to that paper. And you were saving that paper to give it back to Xiao. And you were saving that paper to give back to Tamarack. And you saved that paper with your things as a keepsake. We're gonna say as a keepsake. You had nice memories that went with it. With your topic all done, Mama softly spoke up to share her own thoughts with you. It's odd, imagining this entire building collecting dust for all this time, isn't it? No one wanted to live here. Not renters, not the man who owned it. But it's a charming house. Yeah, it is. How do we get to have something like this? Mom pinched her lips together in consideration. Then she kept talking. There aren't a lot of opportunities out in these woods, I suppose. The face in the corner. At my company, the retiring of the former HR was the first big position I'd ever heard of in this area. And even that didn't open up for people already living in the town. I was asked to relocate and take the position. Creases grew around her eyes. The more she thought about it, she caught herself before a frown could follow. Oh, but it's not an issue. I'm grateful. We'll find our place in the slow pace of Golden Grove, and at least we'll have each other regardless. Yep, you and me are a team. It's great we have each other to talk about stuff with. We'll always be together. You can count on me, Mama. You nod strongly. You yawn, not paying too much attention. You can count on me, Mama. Thank you, Cherry. Then your Mama stretched her legs out fully across the sleeping bag, wiggling her toes inside the black socks she had on. Seeing Mama right there on the floor with you was cool. You didn't hang out together during bedtime like this most nights. It was special. As you thought about that, your eyelids were trying to tape themselves up with the sticky, gritty stuff that your eyes made when it was extra late. All right, dear, you should get inside the sleeping bag now before you blink out on top of it. That sounds like a pretty good idea. Scooping your stuffed animal into both arms, you shimmied into the open end of the bag. It was made out of fabric that was so smooth it wasn't difficult to do. You moved farther down until the edge was to your chin. You were wrapped up like a loaf of bread in a grocery bag. That's cute. Mama got to her feet, taking a short jog over to the far wall of the room. She lifted a finger to the light switch, but kept her gaze on you. The expression on her face was gentle. Good night, Cherry. Good night, Mama. You smiled up at her. Night, sweet dreams. You blew her a good night kiss. You stared up at her. You rolled to her side, turning away from her. Good night, Mama. There we go. While your eyes were trying to adjust, you heard the shuffling sounds of Mama. She'd join you on the floor again. The noises soon stopped. Mama didn't talk anymore. There weren't sounds of cars passing outside. Blah, blah, blah. I accidentally pressed it. The night noises were a lot different than you had experience with. They were so quiet and distant. It made you notice them more than if they were clearer. You'd have to get to know the sounds better. It was another part of the house's personality. You were okay with that. It was normal to need time to get familiar with each part of the house. You pressed your eyes shut, and your head was thoughts of Shao and Tamarack. You tossed and turned in the squishy cocoon, wanting to sleep so tomorrow would come sooner, but too excited to do so. It was way too long of a night. Then, your second day in Golden Grove arrived. Oh! Hello again. We mentioned it earlier, but occasionally you will get the opportunity to change what you're wearing during the game. You'll be able to take off accessories like hats, scarves during certain in-game moments. If you don't want to bother with changing your outfit, you can toggle these sections off from your detail screen. Click Info, right to find it. Turning off the dress-up sections means what layers you choose to take off and keep wearing when you get to school will be your preference for what you wear indoors for the rest of Step 1. Interesting. Interesting. Or until you turn on dress-up sections again. Okay. Would you like to see dress-up sections in the future? I want to pick my outfit. I like that. Have fun. Thank you. Okay, y'all. We are going to end this here, I think. Okay. Right. Wait. We'll just put it in this spot. Yeah.